now at 6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. Major upgrades underway at Victoria Regional Airport. When flights resume and what's being improved.
A $600,000 investment in Victoria roads. The North Side road improvements starting soon.
And thousands of emails will soon be made public, what they could reveal about the Uvalde school massacre.
We had a round of some heavy thunderstorms to the southwest of us down in Ward Fannin. We had a real downpour. You can see how all the tropical activity is rolling back up. So look for more rain tomorrow, but then we'll talk about what the weekend will hold coming up in a moment.
And Victoria West Warriors look for a big-time win versus the Lockhart Lions this Friday night. We'll give you the full game preview later on in the quarter.
Watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shauna Curry.
And I'm Don Brubeck.
Flights to and from the Victoria Regional Airport will take off again next week. Improvements at the airport are on schedule. The projects include runway reconstruction, a new electronic monitoring system, restrooms and air conditioning in the air traffic control tower, along with upgrades to the parking lot and terminal building. Flights resume next Friday, September 5th. The upgrade projects should be complete within the next year, weather permitting.
Northside Road is getting a major upgrade. The city and county of Victoria teamed up to completely rebuild nearly 2 miles of the roadway in Precinct 2. The $605,000 project will be split between the county and city, with construction set to begin in September. Crews will first handle drainage improvements and culvert replacements later this month, before moving into 2 phases of full reconstruction. Commissioner Jason Ort says this project was a long-time priority, and he's excited to see it finally moving forward thanks to the city-county partnership.
Potholes are more than a nuisance. They can damage cars, drain wallets, and frustrate drivers. We're taking a closer look at why they're popping up, what's being done to fix them, and where the worst ones are. Today we found these at Polk and Laurent Streets. Show us the potholes that are hindering your commute by emailing a picture or video to staff@crossroadstoday.com. And drivers on Cologne Road in Victoria County could be in for some delays. A bridge is now closed earlier than planned.
25 News Now reporter Ray Mosley has what you need to know.
Work to rebuilding this bridge was supposed to start September 8th, but this hole behind me forced the bridge to be closed. According to a Victoria County spokesperson, the issue was found during an inspection of the bridge with concerns it would collapse if drivers were allowed to keep driving on it. Victoria County crews identified a hole in the road, meaning the bridge could possibly collapse. This bridge on Cologne Road near the intersection of Cologne Road South is closed and will stay closed until further notice. Drivers are urged to take alternate routes. Reporting in Victoria County, Ray Mosley, KAVU TV, 25 News Now.
For our viewer poll tonight, we're asking, how should city and county officials prioritize road projects? Repair the most dangerous roads first, focus on high traffic routes, or prioritize roads with the most community complaints, or complete projects that are already underway. And 69% of viewers feel that the most dangerous roads should be repaired first, followed by high traffic routes. But we want to hear from you. Visit crossroadstoday.com/vote to let us know your opinion. And we'll take another look at our poll coming up on 25 News Now at 10.
The investigation continues into broken windows in several downtown Cuero businesses. This happened on July 19th. Cuero Police Chief Stephen Ellis reports a total of 6 businesses in the area of Church, Gonzalez, and Esplanade Streets had broken windows. Chief Ellis reports there are 2 suspects in the case. One suspect, a homeless person, was sent to the Salvation Army of Victoria. The other suspect faces charges unrelated to the broken windows. Chief Ellis says the property owners don't have surveillance video systems in this case. If you have any information, contact the Cuero Police Department at 361-277-3552.
Goliad County is the latest county in the Crossroads to go under a burn ban. That means no outdoor burning unless you have a permit approved by emergency management. Officials are urging everyone to use extreme caution with any outdoor activity, especially equipment that could spark a fire. And if you see smoke or flames, you're asked to call the sheriff's office right away. Meanwhile, the burn ban in Calhoun County was lifted today. All controlled burns must be called in beforehand to the sheriff's office.
Well, we're not having so much of a burn ban situation here right now because we're getting a bunch of rain. Thank you, Mac.
Yeah, but you know, it's been spotty, so some areas are wetter than others. This afternoon, we had a big thunderstorm that came up from the south. Here's the city. You can see it right about there. So I guess Fannin got the biggest, heaviest downpour. We had 40-mile-an-hour winds with that. Probably dropped over an inch of rain. At this hour, now that the sun is beginning to lower, we're losing a lot of the heating energy, so a lot of this is decreasing for the rest of the night. But tomorrow, we're going to see more thunder showers pop. We'll take a look at the weekend, and then we'll take a look at, yes, the cold front that's coming in on Sunday. We'll talk about that coming up in a moment. Back to you.
Are you not excited, Mac?
Well, everybody is too excited. They want to talk about the cold front. It's a little bitty front. We'll have all that coming up.
All right.
All right, Mac, thank you. Thousands more emails related to the 2022 Robb Elementary School massacre in Uvalde will be released. A lawyer admitted at a school board meeting Monday night that a mistake had been made in withholding them. The board of the Uvalde Consolidated ISD voted weeks ago to release the public records related to the attack. Board members stressed they played no part in the records not being released. The May 2022 school shooting was the worst in a decade, where 19 students and 2 teachers were killed.
A Texas House panel approves a STAR test overhaul despite Democrats' objections. Lawmakers in the House and Senate were considering similar bills to replace the test as they gather for a second special legislative session. Senate Bill 9 and House Bill 8 would swap STAR for 3 shorter tests to be given at the beginning, middle, and end of the school year. House Democrats say the latest legislation fails to meaningfully change the test. The Senate version of the legislation is also up for a full vote.
A bill that would tighten how Texas youth camps are penalized for safety deficiencies gained traction in the legislature after a Senate bill passed last week creating new emergency preparedness reforms for youth camps following the tragic flooding deaths in July in the Hill Country. The House bill would remove a camp's ability to correct violations during the inspection process. It would also reduce the number of camp operators that serve on the State Youth Camp Advisory Committee from a maximum of 7 members to 2.
We've been following the story of Garfield the cat over the last several weeks. Garfield, if you remember, was found August 13th, dumped behind Las Palmas restaurant. You can read the full update on how he's doing. Just come to crossroadstoday.com.
Who would dump a cat? I don't understand that.
I don't know. They still haven't found who's responsible. Well, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 6. History could be made at the Fed. How Trump's move to fire a governor could change policy.
Also had a major blow to the Sinaloa cartel. What prosecutors say about the man who ran that cartel for decades.
Our military hero of the month is Seaman First Class Harry Heil. Harry Heil will be 100 years old next month, so this is an early recognition. Harry Heil was born in Goliad, and after high school, he and 3 friends decided to enlist in the services to defend their country.
We were all in high school, and we all graduated, so we decided it was time to defend our country, so we decided to volunteer, but we just missed it, but it was over. We got to San Antonio, and that's as far as we got.
Harry served in the Navy, but was never assigned to a ship. He served in the Navy, but was never a pilot. Usually, Navy sailors get to see the world, but not Harry. Harry served in the Navy and never left Corpus Christi Naval Air Station.
When I got to Corpus, I was one of the few that had shorthand and typing in high school. And so when I got into the office, there was an old chief, petty chief officer, called him Porky, and he needed somebody had driver's license. Well, I had driver's license. I was one of the few, and that's what I did. Drove that old chief around every day. That was my job.
During World War II, Naval Air Station Corpus Christi was a hub of activity repairing naval aircraft.
When they need fixing, they brought them to us and we'd fix them. They were B-24 and B-32 and all kind of planes. Most of them are still they still would go. They just need a lot of repairs, that's all. We had 3 big hangars and all the planes that were shot up and need repairs, that's what we did. It was called assembly and repair.
After the war, Harry came back to Goliad and married his high school sweetheart. Then he and his brother-in-law built a feed store, and the Goliad Feed Company has been in existence for 80 years.
He borrowed $10,000 from his dad, and we opened up a Goliad Feed Company. And so after he was a school teacher, after I'd say about 3 months or so, he decided he didn't like the feed business.
Local producers have relied on the feed store for generations.
I sold cow feed, I sold hog feed, I sold chicken feed, I sold horse feed, I sold hog feed, I sold chicken feed, turkey feed. Well, my biggest O'Connor was my biggest account. We took him a truckload of feed every day. And then we had the Lazy F Ranch in Berkeley. That was our second biggest account. Until the big feed mills came in, like Fuller Pep and Farina, I had about 95% of the business for quite a few years.
So Seaman Harry left his Chief Petty Officer, Porky, there at the base, and they never saw each other after working together for 4 years.
Well, when he was still there on the base, when I left him, see, when I served my time, I wanted to get married. I came back to go to Goliad.
And you were done with the Navy?
I was done with the Navy, right.
You were ready to start a whole new life?
But I had a good Navy life. It wasn't bad.
He is one of the last 2 World War II veterans living in Goliad County. Seaman First Class Harry Heil, from his service in World War II to his service to animal producers in Goliad County, is our military hero of the month. If you know a veteran and you want to tell us their story, go to our website, crossroadstoday.com/military hero, and tell us about it. I'm Maclovio Perez, 25 News Now.
Under a proposed bill, Texas lawmakers face possible penalties for breaking quorum. A new bill would fine absent state lawmakers and their donors for certain political contributions during future quorum breaks. House Bill 18 would ban any state legislator breaking quorum from taking political donations above the set amount lawmakers get paid in state funding every day during regular and special sessions. That figure is $221. Violators would be fined up to $5,000 per donation or expenditure.
Now to a big win in the fight against Mexican drug cartels.
An infamous drug lord's guilty plea coming on the same day we saw a record haul of cocaine. ABC's Rhiannon Alley has the details.
The man prosecutors call one of the most powerful drug traffickers in the world now faces the rest of his life in prison. Ismael Zambada, also known as El Mayo, pleaded guilty in New York to federal drug trafficking charges. He's accused of shipping at least 1.5 million kilos of cocaine since 1980, most of it to the U.S.
Over the last 3 decades, El Mayo and his accomplices made billions of dollars. Hundreds of millions each year they were making by bringing poisonous drugs into our country.
El Mayo, who co-founded Mexico's Sinaloa cartel with the convicted drug lord known as El Chapo, admits keeping control of his billion-dollar empire with violence, bribery, and murder.
Their reign of terror is over.
El Mayo was arrested last year in El Paso, Texas, part of an elaborate sting operation masterminded by El Chapo's son, who led him to believe they were flying to northern Mexico to look at prospective airstrips. El Mayo's guilty plea coming as the Coast Guard, in a separate development, announced it seized 76,000 pounds of illicit drugs, mostly cocaine, offloading the drugs in Fort Lauderdale, the largest cocaine offload in Coast Guard history.
Consider this. The 61,740 pounds of cocaine represent 23 million potentially lethal doses. That's enough to fatally overdose the entire population of the state of Florida.
As for El Mayo, his guilty plea also demands he turn over $15 billion. He will be sentenced to life in prison in January. Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
The Justice Department wants a federal court to dismiss a lawsuit filed by Proud Boys members over their January 6th convictions. The plaintiffs, including former leader Enrique Tarrio, claim political prosecution and are seeking $100 million. The DOJ argues the suit lacks merit and the U.S. is not liable for punitive damages. The push comes amid claims from Republicans and Trump allies that the cases were political. President Trump has since pardoned Tarrio and commuted the other plaintiffs' sentences, part of more than 1,000 pardons related to the Capitol attack.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is a little cooler right about now. We're at 81 degrees because of the rain and the thunder showers that popped this afternoon. We managed to get up to 91 this afternoon. We got 3,700s out at the airport. Some of you might have got a little bit more than that. We had some strong storms there for a little bit. But all that to me is about settling down right about now. We'll talk about what to expect tomorrow and the weekend after this. I don't know if you noticed it over the weekend, but we were very hot, right? But it was actually a little bit low on the humidity. All that humidity got pushed out into the Gulf, and today, well, it sort of all rolled back in. As a result, we got pretty widespread shower activity around South Texas, as you can see right there, including the crossroads. We have a stationary front to the north of us. It's not a, okay, it's going to take a while before we get a real strong cold front. Well, we've got frontal systems moving around, and that's a good sign. It's also a good sign because as the fronts move around, we have less of a chance of getting any tropical systems up into our area. So that sort of helps out. Now I want you to see right about here, north of this line, well, north of Oklahoma, it is fall already as temperatures have dropped like a rock throughout much of the Midwest. They are looking at very comfortable, very fall-like weather right about there. Now, Here's Victoria, and let me show you that big thunderstorm that rolled right up 59, right about there. At that one point in time, it was blowing with 40, 50-mile-an-hour winds, dropping very heavy rain down toward Fannin and Raisin. So that would be in the Coleto Creek area, and so all that's going out to sea. But as we look at the system tonight, most of the thunder shower activity, now that the heating is gone, is beginning to decrease. Here's another view of how much rain we got. So if we got, let's see, what, a third of an inch, you can say they got over an inch in most areas down there toward Goliad County as well, and that includes Cologne as well. Now, this is tomorrow. Now, the frontal system is right about here, and it works out very nicely. This is where all the humid air is down south, and that's where we're likely to see a widespread pop of shower activity again on Wednesday. However, then on Thursday, it sort of settles down for a little bit until the cold front arrives. We'll talk about that in a moment. Taking a look at the Gulf, everything's fairly quiet, no tropical activity to worry about. Tropical storm Fernand is moving out into the Atlantic, not a problem, and it's really kind of dramatic. You know, we had a very busy spurt of activity there for a while, and now it just got quiet all of a sudden. We have one easterly wave coming off the west coast of Africa, but the entire basin is fairly quiet. Here is what we expect for tonight. Here's Tuesday night. Notice the thunder showers will decrease, except for maybe one to the north of the city. And then we go into tomorrow morning, and you can see how the cloud deck rolls up, and we see a few little sea breeze showers rolling up. We go into tomorrow afternoon, you can see how we have just some isolated scattered thunder showers around the region. And as we get into Thursday, we lose a lot of that activity. That's why we're looking for, you know, plain old sunny and hot for a couple of days. Tomorrow, Port Lavaca, not bad, but a few scattered showers expected and some sea breeze activity coming in the morning. This morning was kind of interesting. I don't know how early you got up, but it was raining and it was sunny at the same time. I don't know if you saw that. Then your high in Cuero, well, you're getting up to 91 tomorrow, so the cloud cover sort of helps out with the temperature there, but with the few scattered showers. Now, as we settle down for Thursday, Friday, less rain activity, a little bit warmer. Then Saturday night, we have a frontal system arriving. Now, I'm laughing because a lot of people are talking about it. They go, hey, it's coming, the frontal system. Well, it's not the big one, but it is coming, and it'll drop the temperature maybe 5 to 8 degrees, but it will also give us a shot at getting additional showers on Sunday. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads a day on your phone, and we'll toss it back to Shauna.
All right, one place we will definitely appreciate the cooler temperatures when they get here is the football stadium on Friday nights. Let's send it over to Max Williams for sports.
That's right, Sean. I can't wait for a little bit more cooler breeze that's going to come around here in the Texas area. And two football teams that might also appreciate it out there, and the Cuero Gobblers and the Ganado Indians are looking for big seasons out there in 2025. I'll highlight both their Week 1 matchups coming up in sports. We're only 3 days away from starting off your high school football season, and yesterday we highlighted our game of the week between the Edna Cowboys and the District Cobras. Well, we have another huge game to watch out for between the Cuero Gobblers. They're traveling out to face the Columbus Cardinals on the road. This match will consist of Cuero's high-powered offense that's led under quarterback Jackson Marie, who's fully healthy this season, and top wide receiver threat Walker Dietz. And keep an eye, it's also the battle of the Cards defense. They lost a lot of people on the offensive side, but they have a lot of people returning on defense for Columbus this year. So it's going to be a battle between those both styles. Who will win that challenge? We'll have to see. on Friday nights. Now down over to 2A where the state champion Ganado Indians, they open the season versus the Van Fleck Leopards, and Ganado heads in this one losing their top quarterback in Bryce Solomon, but they have a capable backup in Landon Arriaga who started actually the first 3 games last year for Ganado under Oldman, who was recovering from an injury to start off the season. He's going to be a big threat because he's got big threats around him. He's got Austin Pena and Logan Burris, who look to be some impact players for this season, and this team for Ganado is destined to make another run to the state championship this season. And now we mentioned both Walker Dietz there and Austin Pena for our 2 options. There are 2 players on our viewer pool tonight where I asked everyone who you thought from as the wide receiver will be an impact player in week 1. We had the options of Ganado's Austin Pena, Cuero's Walker Dietz, Shiner's Jarvis Williams, West's Tristan Menard, or other. And a lot of you are choosing kind of the other category. And we actually had one comment that we got out there from one person out there from Calvin and Edna. He mentioned there Austin. He's saying he's a great athlete and humble individual. I think he looks open for his senior year right following a big state championship. So he picked their Austin Pena. We had a lot of people choose others. So again, we'll see if more comments come around there later on the rest of the way. And again, for this viewer poll later on. Now, one of the wide receivers we mentioned there in Tristan Menard, he looks to help out West. They opened the season their Friday night versus the Lockhart Lions. And West, they went a couple rounds deep in the playoffs last year before losing to the Bernie Greyhounds 59-15. So with this chip on their shoulders, senior defensive backs Nathan Guerra and Tavion Peoples are pumped for this season, and they're highlighted some of the expectations going into that week 1 matchup versus Lockhart.
The smack them in the mouth mentality. You know, we've been preaching a lot this week about just like, you know, bringing it to them, especially this week because, you know, it's just a season opener. Obviously, we're on the road right now, but, you know, it's always good to just go out there and hit another team, you know, finally.
Be physical, start from the jump. Don't be like, don't be lazy. Yeah, don't be lazy. Just go out there, do your thing, you know, and everything will work out itself.
Peoples was named one of the captains for this year, and him and Guerra look to be more consistent on the defensive side under the new defensive coordinator, Ryan Montavo. We'll see again on Friday night. Now over to Tuesday night volleyball action where we first got the undefeated West Warriors. They bring their undefeated record versus St. Joseph High School Lady Flyers. In that game, we're going to see how these 2 teams face off against each other. We'll have the highlights later on. 25 News Now Sports at 10 p.m. Another top battle out in the 3A ranks between the Goliad Tigerettes. They're facing the Industrial Cobras in a 3A battle where we have, again, Addison Yendry. You got, again, Kylie Shavota out there for Industrial. We'll have the highlights for that one at 10 p.m. Now over to El Campo where the Ricebirds have their home opener versus Victoria East Titans. Both of these teams look to get big-time wins in district play before they start up in September. And finally out there down south, we're getting a little momentum after winning the tight end volleyball tournament for the Calhoun Sandies. They look to keep that going tonight at home. The game did start about 20 minutes ago. We'll see how that score turns out versus the Calhoun Wildcats later on tonight. And that's going to do it here in sports. Don, Shauna, back to you.
Max, thank you. And we're back in a moment. We'll show you an honorary Victoria police officer and Victoria County deputy getting a brand new honor in the Big Apple. Finally tonight, New York City has a new honorary deputy mayor for public safety. DJ Daniel from Houston was sworn in today by New York City Mayor Eric Adams. 13-year-old DJ is living with brain and spinal cancer and has been sworn in by over 1,300 agencies, including as a Secret Service agent by President Trump in March. The teen wants to be a police officer and has been battling cancer since 2018. His family remains hopeful about his future, thanks in part to a research study he is taking part in now. Certainly hope he does that. DJ gets another proclamation there. Honorary. That is awesome stuff.
Good stuff.
High school football fans are already looking at the weather forecast for Friday night.
I got you covered for Friday night, all right? So let's take a look at the 7-day, because tomorrow is a little bit of a stormy afternoon, but then Thursday and Friday we settle down. So I think we'll just be hot and steamy on Friday, no major problems. Saturday night into Sunday is the best chance for showers with a cold front coming in.
Right.
Good to know, Matt.
Thank you,
Friday
Matt.
looks
Thanks for
good.
joining us.
We'll see you back here tonight at 10.